Hello and welcome, dear friends, to what I promise will be one of the most fascinating stories you'll hear. If you enjoy our content, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. It truly helps us bring more stories like this to you. Our story begins with Helena, a dedicated mother who was in a constant battle with her own impatience. She had two children, 6-year-old João and 10-year-old Maria. They lived together in a small house on the edge of the city, where Helena worked tirelessly as a seamstress to make ends meet. Her days were a blur of deadlines, financial worries, and the never-ending demands of running a home. Despite the unconditional love she felt for her children, Helena was perpetually stressed and overwhelmed. The long hours hunched over her sewing machine, and the constant fatigue wore her down, making her impatient. She often found herself, unintentionally, taking out her frustrations on João and Maria. Little João would often beg for his mother's attention, desperate for her to play with him, but it was no use. Helena simply didn't have the patience. Instead, she would frequently yell at him to be quiet. Inevitably, tears would follow, and it was always his older sister, Maria, who would gently wipe them away. Maria, for her part, did everything she could to please her mother, hoping for just a small gesture of affection, but it never came. One night, after a particularly exhausting day, Helena collapsed into a deep and unsettling sleep. She was only asleep for about 2 hours, but when she woke up, something felt deeply wrong. A profound, hollow emptiness had settled in her soul, a feeling unlike anything she had ever experienced. She decided to get a glass of water from the kitchen. As she walked slowly through the quiet house, with each step, an agonizing dread grew inside her, taking over her entire being. Helena wasn't in the habit of checking on her children before she went to bed, but on this night, an irresistible urge pulled her toward their room. She had to see if they were all right. With a trembling hand, Helena opened the door. What she saw made her blood run cold. Both beds were empty and perfectly made. Her eyes widened in fear. In a surge of panic, she threw open the closet doors, only to find them completely bare. There was no trace of her children's clothes. Her heart began to pound in her chest, and a cold sweat broke out across her skin. Desperate, she ran frantically through the house, calling out for João and Maria, but her calls were met with an eerie silence. They were nowhere to be found. In a desperate last-ditch attempt, Helena grabbed her phone and called her mother. "Mom, I can't find the children anywhere. I'm desperate," she cried into the phone. "Daughter," her mother replied in a surprisingly calm tone, "have you been drinking? You don't have any children. Besides, you never wanted to have them. You always said you didn't have the desire or the patience." Helena's voice was barely a whisper now. "Mom, you must be confused. I'm going to find them, even if I have to go to the end of the world." She slammed the phone down and ran out into the dark streets, shouting their names until her voice was raw. But it was useless. No one had seen them. No one could offer any information. After hours of searching, with her strength completely gone, Helena dragged herself back home, consumed by a profound sadness. She opened the front door, clinging to one last sliver of hope that João and Maria would be there waiting, ready to run and throw themselves into her arms. But the house was empty. The silence echoed off the walls, and there wasn't a single toy scattered on the floor. It was as if a child had never set foot in that house. The immense pain, combined with her extreme exhaustion, was too much. Helena collapsed onto the sofa and fainted. Suddenly, she started to hear faint voices in the distance. She instantly recognized the voices of her children, and her eyes flew open. There, standing right in front of her, were her two beloved children. Without a second thought, she pulled them into her arms, hugging and kissing them like she never had before. For long minutes, she held them tightly, reassuring herself that they were real, that they were truly there. In that powerful moment, it all became clear. She finally understood how much they meant to her. The entire ordeal had been nothing more than a nightmare, a terrible, vivid dream. It was a wake-up call, a way to draw her attention to what was truly important in her life. The nightmare had shown her the inestimable value of her children. She realized that despite the daily challenges and her own impatience, her children were her greatest blessing, her purest source of joy. From that moment on, Helena made a solemn commitment to herself. She decided to actively seek patience and find balance in her life. She began prioritizing quality time with her children, creating precious memories together. She learned to take a deep breath in moments of stress, to listen more attentively, and to respond with love and understanding in every situation. Over time, Helena noticed a remarkable transformation in their family. João and Maria flourished under their mother's new, gentle attitude. The house that was once filled with tension was now filled with laughter and love. Helena learned that patience wasn't just a virtue. It was a powerful tool for strengthening family bonds and cultivating meaningful, lasting relationships. Helena's story is a powerful reminder that even in our most difficult moments, there is always room for growth and change. Her dream guided her on a journey of self-discovery and unconditional love, showing her that our greatest treasures are often right in front of us, closer than we could ever imagine. Thank you for joining us today, and until next time.